What you see on the screen here is an example of a weekly module in our Canvas page. So for each week, the materials both for lecture, which is here at the top, and for lab, which is here at the bottom, are going to be contained within a single module on our Canvas page. And I should note that the first couple weeks, those modules are going to look a little bit different than this just because we're getting started in the class and we don't really have a lot of content itself to go through yet. But once we get to week 3 and for the rest of the semester, the modules are going to look similar to what I'm showing here. So I wanted to walk us through that to make sure everyone understands what's here, where to find the different information. So if we start with the lecture portion at the top, which contains most of the material, so just as a heads up, when you click on these modules, most of the quizzes and assignments you'll need to do are associated with that lecture portion. The top part here for lecture is a points breakdown. So if you click on that, what it will show you is the total points that are assigned to that week, and then it breaks it down into how many of those points are from online lecture. So here it will list every different quiz or assignment you need to complete for this particular week and how many points each of those assignments is worth. And then the same thing here for lab at the bottom. Most of our lab work is going to be associated with these activity worksheets, and starting later in the semester, again, not the first couple weeks, but starting later in the semester, we're also going to have an online quiz each week that covers material from the previous week. And that's just to help enhance your learning and make sure that you're retaining things and not just doing things one week and then completely forgetting the content, because that's not what we want. We want you to keep building and remembering what we learned previously. So that's the points breakdown page. If we back out of here and now go back to that lecture portion, next we have an introduction page that will give a brief intro to the content, the material that we're learning for that week. And the bulk of the lecture module is broken up into different parts. And so we've done that in order to chunk things out for you and help you make it a little bit more manageable, to help you determine when to do these different parts instead of feeling like you have to do it all at once, which is not what we recommend. We definitely recommend spreading these out over different days, if that's feasible for you. So here for this particular week 4 module, we have part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so, for instance, if you're looking at this module at the beginning of the week and you're trying to plan out when to do these different parts of the module, if you've dedicated 3 days of your week to BIO100 work and study time, you could divide that up and do parts 1 and 2 on the first day, 3 and 4 on the second day, and 5 and 6 on that third day. If we look at one of these example pages, so let's click on part 2, this is what a typical module lecture content page is going to look like. At the top here, we have an overview of how many videos are contained for that page. So most of the weeks we're going to have embedded video content for you to watch that will help you learn the material. So the beginning is a video, how many videos there are, as well as how long each of those videos is. So I personally always like to know if I'm going to click a video, how long that will be. If I'm trying to squeeze in some work in between other things, it helps me know whether I have enough time to watch that video or not. So the part at the top will have how many videos there are and how long each one is, and then it also tells you how many quizzes are associated with that particular video for this particular page. So for week 4, part 2 here, we are asking you to watch one video that's 14 minutes long and complete one quiz. The video is embedded here directly on the Canvas page, so you can just click right here from the page. Once you click here, this is hosted on YouTube, so once you play the video, you will have the option to turn on closed captioning, so that will be an option for you if that is something that will help you process the information. the quiz for so after you watch the video, the quiz to help reinforce and help you practice that material that you just learned is linked here at the bottom of the page as well. For this particular video, it's more of a screencast type, which is similar to the video that I'm making for you right now. Some of the other videos in other weeks will be based on PowerPoints. And so if it is a video that's based on PowerPoint slides, what we'll also do is before we embed the video, we'll include a link to those PowerPoint slides so you can download it. I know some people like to take notes directly on those slides, so we'll provide that for you as well. So that's what each one of the pages will look like. If we scroll down here towards the bottom of the lecture portion, now we see something called a week 4 exit question. And so we include these towards the end of the module to give you a chance to reflect on all the material that you've just learned. And we ask you this because we want to know what you're still confused about and what you still need help with. And so your responses to these questions will help us figure out what we still need to clarify to help everyone in the class understand the content. Underneath that, for the last page in the lecture portion is an assignments checklist. So if we click on that, it'll be very similar to that points breakdown page I showed at the beginning. But again, this is just a checklist for you to make sure you completed all of the different quizzes and assignments that we asked you to, just to make sure you didn't miss anything. So that covers the lecture portion, and again, for each of these weekly modules, most of the material and content is going to be housed within the lecture portion. If we scroll down here to the lab portion, what we have here is a page for that week's lab activity. So most of our activities are going to be based on worksheets. Those worksheets will be made available to you on these pages. Once everyone in the class has completed that week's worksheet and your instructor has graded it, we will also post a key to that worksheet just for your reference. If you have any questions about what you got wrong, for instance, or what the correct answer is. So that is a summary of the weekly modules that you will see each week on Canvas.